This video is going to show you the steps for completing homework assignment 3. I'm using Microsoft Office 2010. You may have a different version. 2007 is probably the version that you'll be using, and it's the version that's installed on the computers at the school. But it's pretty much the same thing. The first thing you need to do if you're working on this assignment from home is to include the solver add-in. If you're working on the computers at school, the solver add-in's already been installed. So to install it, you would go to the File menu if you're using 2010, or to the window or the Office icon logo in 2007, and then go to Options. And in this window, you're going to want to go to Add-ins. And then from the list under Inactive Application Add-ins, you're going to click on Solver and then press Go. And then when the add-ins dialog box opens, click on the solver add-in and press OK. Take a second to install, and you can see that the solver add-in is here. We also are going to need the analysis add-in, so we can go back to the options and get that one. Let's see. I'm just going to click on both of these analysis options and press OK. And there's our data analysis tool. So once you have that installed, you're going to begin by going under the sample header here, click on the data analysis button, and then from the dialog box choose sampling and press OK. In the input range, you're going to click on the collapse button, and then you're going to select cells A3 all the way down to, I believe it's A102. No, farther. It's 302. Then expand your dialog box back open, and then in the number of samples you're going to choose 30, and in the output range you're going to collapse the dialog box again and then choose G3 and press OK. You'll see that it automatically creates a sample size of 30 that is generated from your full population here. Once this calculates, you'll see at the bottom you have your mean here and your sample standard deviation here. Then you would just come to the right and you would record these values. So my mean is 725, my sample standard deviation is 444. I'm going to record those here, 725 and 444. Now I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to click on data analysis again. Sampling is already chosen, so I click OK, and you'll see that all of my data is already included in my sampling dialog box, so I don't have to re-enter it again. I just press OK. And then I get a warning that tells me that it's going to overwrite existing data. That's OK, so press OK there. And then you'll see now that my mean and standard deviation have changed. So then I come back over here and record those values again. So 829 and 395. And unfortunately you're going to have to do that 100 times to get all of your population samples here. You also need to adjust the formulas that are in cell L103. You can see here that it's currently only summing the values from L3 to L32, and you need that to be L3 to L102. And then likewise in M103, you need to change that to M102. And your mean and your standard deviation will automatically calculate for you, but again, these values need to be changed also from 30 to 100. Once you've recorded your values here, you're going to then insert these values on your confidence interval tab. So I'm just going to copy these here, go to my confidence interval tab, and then I'm going to paste them here in cell D5. And you'll see that once you do that, your lower and upper limits are automatically calculated for you. In this blank box here, you need to include whether or not your population mean is inside of the lower and upper limits. So if we go back to our random sample page and go all the way down to the bottom of our population, we can see that our population is 840, or the mean for our population is 848. So I'm just going to put that here so that I know that's the number that I'm looking for. And if I look at my lower limit and my upper limit, I can see that 848 is included. It is between 570 and 879. So I don't need to include anything here. If excuse me, if 849 was not included, so for example, I don't have any values here, but I'm showing a lower limit of 154, negative 154, and positive 154. So 848 would not be within those limits. So I would just simply put no in this box so that I can count the number of times that I don't meet that in between those limits at the end. For the last part, you have to create a graph. So I have added some numbers over here. And you'll see if you come over to the right that you have some bin categories already established. You can create new bin categories if you want, but you don't need to. So we're going to go back to our data analysis tool, and then we're going to go to Histogram. Press OK. For our input range, we're going to select our data. And then for the bin range, we're going to select our bin categories. And then we're going to chart the output, and you can just leave it here to go to a new worksheet and press OK. And then you'll see that it tells me how many how many pieces of my data fall into which groups here. So I believe that's everything to all of the steps to complete all of the parts of the homework. I hope that this video helps you.